You don't want to be every time, no. I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that thing. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the stage. Sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzzer beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And what is up, Man Hour Nation? I know you know who I am, but who the hell is this guy to my right here?
Right.
Whatever. Who are you? Would you like to introduce me? How did you get in here?
I don't know. I was just kind of playing on my computer here, and I ended up stumbling onto this duck thing. I really like ducks, and it was called StreamYard, and I clicked on it, and then it ended up leading me here, and I opened it up, and there was an angry Wisconsinite yelling at a TV about something. I don't know what it was, but, he kept on saying A about everything, and talking about cheese. And I was like, what's going on right now?
Literally pick any Wisconsin sports team, and I'll probably yell at the TV.
Right? Well, no one. I was yelling on Sunday as well. I wasn't yelling. I was sitting over in the corner of my living room behind me, working on schoolwork and trying not to cry. That was about as cool as I got on Sunday. It was a rough Sunday, that's for sure. Yeah. Especially when Rodgers got benched. Oh my God. I was like,
he didn't get benched. The thing is they pulled him. Like that was the best thing. That was the best article I saw is Rodgers benched in favor of Jordan Love. We were down by 30 points. Like, yeah, why get your quarterback hurt? So like
I see that, yeah. And I of course, I know it wasn't benched and all, but it was tough to see when he came out and we were just getting pummeled on. And then I saw Jordan go in and I was like, gosh, this is rough. This is rough. I mean, but I will say this. Do you know the last time the Saints beat a team 38-3?
38-3, they won the Super Bowl. Right? Come on, man. I'm a Packer fan.
No, I know, but I got one more. You ready for this? The last time that Aaron Rodgers had a season opener with 2 picks, do you know what year it was? 2010.
2011. Oh.
2010 went on to win the Super Bowl. I don't know. That's all I'm saying. I'm keeping my mouth shut. I'm not saying anything else, but odd coincidences are happening. No, I'm just kidding. But I do like how Aaron is kind of, with the media, not just with the media, with the team, with the coaching staff and everything. I feel like he's really calm about this. Like, I don't know if you listen to the Pat McAfee show when they have Aaron Rodgers Tuesdays, but I always listen for those, 30, 45 minutes where Aaron comes on and he just spills everything. Like, he's so honest. And he came on there and he was like, we had a bad game. We had an off game. He said we had one of those last year. It happens. You have bad games. He's like, it's nothing. It's just another day. He was like, we moved on. We're ready to play the Lions on Monday night. I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers, this is my fantasy advice for everybody listening. If you have Aaron Rodgers on your fantasy team, you need to make sure, no matter what happens, right now, go put him in there. Your Wi-Fi could die and be gone until Monday. You don't know that. So you need to make sure you're safe and have Aaron Rodgers in there. You need to do that right now because I'm telling you, career game on Monday for Aaron Rodgers. He is going to go stupid. And I mean stupid. Like, he is going to take a game where he had 1.3 fantasy points, something like that. The very next game, he's going to make himself an MVP contender. I'm telling you right now, I promise, you watch and see. Monday night, Aaron Rodgers goes stupid. They're playing the Lions at home. A terrible secondary, a terrible defense. They're going to light him up. It's not going to be fair. And it's going to be a big confidence game. And everybody's going to be like, did they even lose to the Saints? I mean, everybody's going to, for all this overreaction and everything that's happening right now, is all going to blow over once Aaron Rodgers, puts 600 yards. No, I'm not kidding. I'm just kidding. Not that much. But once Aaron puts, 350 yards on the Detroit Lions secondary's head, it won't even be fair. It's not going to be fair. I'm telling you. I'm calling it now. have Aaron Rodgers in your fantasy lineup this coming Monday. It will literally win you this week. He is going to go crazy. There it is. My prediction for the week.
How did you do week 1 in fantasy football?
I did pretty good.
You haven't been here in a while. You just got removed.
Do that again. Look at your face.
I know. It goes right to the middle. I went to hit mute and I missed.
It worked just as good though. I was muted if it makes you feel better.
So what do we got lined up for you tonight? I don't want to talk about this. Jameis Winston.
Oh God. I'll give it to Combsy.
148 yards, 5 touchdowns against Packers. Is this going to be the new norm? I will give Sean Payton credit. Sean Payton called a hell of a game. Sean Payton got Jameis to play within himself. I just don't know if Jameis has got the ability to sustain that for an entire season.
Yeah, I don't necessarily, what happened on Sunday, of course, Jameis is the one throwing the ball. So yes, he is the one doing it. But like you said I don't necessarily think Jameis Winston was just crazy. We've known this for years now that Sean Payton is an offensive wizard. I mean, his offensive mindset is of the top all time in coaching. So for Jameis had 5 touchdowns, yes, but if you look at the yardage, he has the least amount of yardage to ever be thrown by a quarterback with 5 touchdowns. Nobody's ever thrown for less than 200 yards and 5 touchdowns. So
wrong.
Yes, Jameis Winston.
1948 was the last time it happened.
Oh, yes. Sorry. 1940. Okay, I do apologize. It's only happened one other time, right? And it was 1948. Okay, so it hasn't happened in a very long time, at least since that was like around the World War II times. That's how long it's been since that's happened. So,
do you know when World War II was?
It was in the 40s.
Oh my God!
I might have. Yes, it was.
Indiana education has failed you.
You will not be. I'm looking this up. You will not be tricking me on this.
It ended in 1945. 3 years. It was done for 3 years.
It started in what? It started in what? America joined in the early 40s.
America joined after December 7th, 1941.
Yeah,
so
Pearl Harbor.
Prior to that, though, the war had been going on for a couple of years since like the late 30s.
Well, there. I said it was time. I said World War II time.
It was over. World War II was over by then, Wyatt.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't care.
Aren't you in college?
I'm here studying sportscasting, not American history. I already passed American history. That's how I got to college. Okay. I haven't studied American history since junior year. That information is long gone now.
Now tell everybody what you said about Monty Python.
Okay.
He is not even going to get to say that blasphemous stuff because he said Monty Python sucks. That is not going to happen in this lifetime. Lifetime.
I love 80s and even 70s and 90s movies. I love them. They're great. The Ferris Bueller's Day Off, all of those. The Goonies, they're incredible. Star Wars, all those. And so I had a friend who was like, hey, you ever seen Monty Python before? It's pretty funny. I'm like, no, I haven't seen it yet. It's an old movie, right? He's like, yeah. So we sit down and we watch it. Okay. I'm sorry. An avid movie watcher of movies at all times.
Was it the Holy Grail?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Get out of here.
I just didn't find it funny.
Leave.
I just didn't. It was very dry. I didn't like how they weren't on horses
that's the whole thing. It's supposed to be dry.
I think that's what it is. I just think I don't find it funny. Now, the Black Knight, I will give you this. The Black Knight situation, that whole thing, that was hilarious. Okay, I was crying laughing at that. But other than that, I just didn't laugh once.
Walking around with the coconuts, clapping them together.
I was like, what is happening? What drug are these guys on right now? Like, what do you have to take to act like this? And I realize they're in England, so they probably snorted a lot of coke, and that's how they got here. But I mean, I didn't get it. There were some funny parts. Don't get me wrong, but just as a whole, I wasn't a big fan. I wasn't digging it, man. I'm sorry, but like I said, I love old movies too. It's not like I'm one of those people. It's like, oh, I won't watch a movie past 2000 because Nikki says that all the time. That's Nikki, but I'll watch old movies. Some of my favorite movies of all time were made.
Most movies after 2000 were made in the 80s.
They were all remakes, yeah. So, but I don't know what it was, man. There were some funny parts. I giggled a little bit, especially, like I said, especially at that Black Knight situation. That right there, that was funny. Okay, with him like chopping his arm off, and he was just like, "Oh, I'll still fight you," and he chops his other arm off, and he's like, "I'll still fight you," and he hits him in the head. He headbutts him. He's like, cuts his leg off, and then he's like, "I'll fight you with one leg," and then he cuts the other leg off, and he's just like laying there, and he's like, "What are you gonna do now?" He's like, "I don't know. I'll figure it out." It's like, what? That part was funny, but I don't know. Whole thing, I just didn't get it. And Infinity Sports here says, Wyatt thought King Arthur fought in World War II. I did, actually. I really did. I did. Old English humor. I guess old English humor just doesn't apply to me. I don't know. I probably shouldn't have said it. I probably shouldn't have said it sucks, because it didn't suck. It wasn't my cup of tea. But still, it wasn't that great.
I'm gonna chalk it up to that you're young and dumb, and the older you get, the more you'll appreciate it.
Okay.
You're naive. You're still naive at this point.
Maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
You're probably still confused when somebody comes up to you and they're like, "Soccer," and you're like, "What's that mean?"
That's a gang sign, isn't it?
Oh,
just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Oh my God, I missed you, Wyatt.
I missed you guys too, man. I know I'm only on here for 30 minutes tonight because, oh my God, college, it's just like you're buried. And then I'm in an accelerated program at Full Sail where I graduate with a 4-year degree in 20 months. So on top of all the work you already have to do in college, it's spanned out over 4 years. They cut it in half and just wad it all up right here. And it's like, oh my Lord. And like I'm in a class right now called Psychology of Play. And don't get me wrong, the teacher's great and all that stuff. It's so much work. It's so much work. It's like every single day I come home and I feel like I write 12 new paragraphs and answer 40 questions. And I'm just like, I when I go to bed every night, like my brain is hurting. Like I got a massive headache every morning when I wake up. I'm like, well, time to do this again. Rubbing my forehead, but I got to stick it out for one more week. And then a month after that, and then I get into my sportscasting classes. And then from then on, I'm pretty much all sportscasting based after that. So fingers crossed, we got to get there. That's the promised land. But until we get there, it's going to be a rough couple months. So, but everybody's really cool down here, though. They're nice. My professors are all really cool. I got to meet my sportscasting professor and like the program director. I missed Dan. So Dan Patrick is the overall sponsor of the sportscasting school down here. I missed Dan Patrick by like 3 days. I was so mad. We all got in the studio and I'm like, where's Dan? I'm like looking everywhere. And they're like, oh, Dan left 3 days ago. And I'm like, oh, Dan left 3 days ago. Okay. All right. Well, that just ruined my entire trip down here, but you know what? It's cool. It's cool.
I'm sure he'll be back, Wyatt.
He comes. Sure. They said he comes back like once every 3 to 6 months. They said he doesn't come much during football season because he really likes being on the show then and talking football, which is completely understandable. It's the best time of the year.
I don't know. You may have heard he had his own show. He has his own show.
Yeah. Maybe you heard of it. Maybe you've heard of Dan Patrick. I don't know. He's just some guy who talks about sports every once in a while. You know, gets on the mic and yeah. No, he is a legend in our business, and I am beyond excited to learn from him and Gus and all the people at the Dan Patrick School of Sportscasting. It's been a blast so far. It's been a lot. It's been a heavy workload. But that's what was expected. Load. That's kind of the point. I did say load, but that's kind of the expected thing, you know. But we're adapting, overcoming, and here soon. Within the next couple of weeks, I think I'm about ready to be back on full time. Because I'm getting adjusted. I'm slowly adding things every day. Like I've actually a big life change for me.
You learn to shower every day? You learn what deodorant is?
I actually shower once a week now instead of just once every 2 weeks. But a big thing for me I've been doing here recently is I've always been a little overweight, so I've always kind of talked about going to the gym and making some healthy changes and stuff. And I've finally I finally have done that. I finally, I go to the gym every day now. I've been watching what I eat. I've been eating a whole lot healthier. I've been intermittent fasting. Have you ever heard of that?
Don't do it. I will tell you right now.
I kind of like it.
I will tell you because it does more harm than good, because your body will start to eat it away its own muscle and stuff like that. If you want to follow a diet and you want to follow a good one, follow a diabetic diet, low sugar, low carb, and you still have carbs and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's the lifestyle I have to. I don't know how I still get fat. Oh, wait, because I don't follow it at all. But I've done this. I started doing the same thing though.
By low carbs, you mean instead of one thing of spaghetti, you have, or instead of two things of spaghetti, you have one whole thing of spaghetti. Is that what you're telling me? Instead of that's your low carbage.
But right now we got to get to break. So first off, I want to tell everybody, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. I want to get 10,000 likes. I'm just kidding. We're not getting 10,000 likes off this video tonight.
Yes, we are. We get this.
10,000 likes. That is our goal. 10,000 tonight. I want 5,000 shares. Smash that like button. Share this with everybody you know. A quick shout out to the 313 The Flash. We're over in the UK, baby. Tea and crumpets for life.
Let's go.
Right. We will be right back after our first break. Man Hour Nation, rise up.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buck Eisler with Tori Anderson and the Wyatt Williams. And Buck Nasty is here tonight. What's going on?
I had never seen that lay before. That over.
You never seen that?
Oh, it's classic.
Pull it back up. Read them one by one. It makes it even better. So we got Combs for president. That we know Combs made it then. Man Hour Nation member, best damn sports radio show on the planet. Rise up. Buck's takes make me stutter too. That right there, you can't beat. Mute it. I cooked the Tory.
And Wyatt just got muted again, guys. So welcome back to the Man Hour. Michael Buck Eisler here with the Man Hour, along with Mr. Torrey Anderson, and the Wyatt Williams. I am late tonight because, Texas Roadhouse loves to just take their sweet-ass time of making your steak, and then they mess it up, and then they mess it up again. So I actually got three steaks tonight, so I'm really excited about that. But you guys had you guys actually had a great banter time, so it is time to dive into some sports talk. Are you ready to dive into some sports talk?
I just want to know, did you Ricky Bobby be like, darling, I asked for no.
I actually wanted mushrooms on my steak. No.
I
think you delivery.
I specifically remember asking you to put them on.
Exactly. Ricky Bobby for the win. Talladega Nights. If you don't know that quote, get the F out of here. But why? It's good seeing your mug, man. I hear you're doing some intermittent fasting. You do what you want with that, but that's bad news Bears. But with all that being said, speaking of bad news Bears, Jameis Winston, Mr. Torrey Anderson, he went 14 for 20 last Sunday versus your Green Bay Packers. Threw for 148 yards with 5 touchdowns, but the key there is he got to win. Does he need to do this week in and week out to keep his job?
You know what? Jameis Winston can. I said a bunch of words I could not say, on the air. So I muted myself.
You muted yourself. That a kid.
It's called self-awareness. You should try it.
Got none.
So Jameis. The thing is, and why I kind of alluded to that before we went completely off the rails and started talking about everything else. But
Monty Python.
Let's not sore subject. Too soon, buddy. Too soon. So Sean Payton called a hell of a game. He made a great game plan. He did what he had to do. Big thing is the Packers are never good at stopping the run, which I never really got that. They haven't figured out how to stop the run, which opened up the pass game, and they made it look easy for him. Even on a couple of those touchdowns, there was actually pretty good coverage. They were pretty good throws by Winston. He didn't need to do a lot. If he can go through an entire season like that, I refuse to say BC is right, but he may have a point. So I will never say that he is full on right. So no, he does need to do it. I think Jameis at some point, goes full Jameis, though.
Yeah, Wyatt, you haven't been on the show and your Packers sucked week 1. Let's just be flat out honest about it. Does Jameis Winston have to repeat, this process, like playing basically like a flawless game to keep his starting job?
I mean, if you threw for 5 touchdowns and beat a Super Bowl contender by 35 points every single week, then yeah, I don't see them taking away this job. Honestly, I don't think Taysom gets it unless if Jameis gets hurt, or unless if Jameis goes off the rails and throws, 30 picks again. Then we might see Taysom. But I kind of think this move of bringing Jameis in and now he's starting after the year that he sat behind Breeze. I kind of feel like this is his team now, especially after that. You could tell this was kind of a long time coming. And James, honestly, hats off to Jameis. He did really look good. But I do agree with Tori. I think a lot of it was the fact that Sean Payton is just a offensive wizard. I talked about this at the beginning of the show. He is simply a offensive wizard. He's one of the top offensive coaching minds of all time in the game of football. So, I mean, yeah, he could probably make me look good at the quarterback position if nobody had any film on me. But of course, that's a different scenario because I don't play in the NFL. I got benched in 8th grade for Zen Maholski, and he's at Ohio State now. So that ended up being okay. But
so that story just transitioned massively because, Tori, don't you remember why it's all I played above Zen 8th grade. I played above Zen 8th grade. Now you got benched for Zen.
If we're going to be 100% honest, I got benched 9th grade because I got hurt. Zen came in with the rest of the crew then. I broke my leg. I did get hurt, actually. I stopped playing football.
All right. So Infinity Sports comes in and says that the only way that Winston loses his job is if he gets hurt. Same thing that Wyatt said there. So I kind of got to agree with that. Taysom Hill is a great quarterback you throw in there for like a play or two, like they did with Justin Fields for the Chicago Bears. It is definitely it's like a gimmick type of situation. Joey comes out and says that Tebow is no longer my favorite player. Okay. Well, wasn't he like Tebow for MVP or something crazy like that. I don't know.
I'm sure.
Yeah, they were gonna shave my head or something if Tebow scored 10 touchdowns or something. Wasn't that what it was?
Yeah.
Tebow is gonna like try out for the NHL now.
Yeah. We Blackthorn, Who They Nation. So what's up to my Cincinnati Bengals fan over the Lilac over there? We definitely need to start talking some more Cincinnati Bengals moving forward here. So you guys are both in agreement that Winston is pretty much going to be a lock for 17 games this year, barring injury. So speaking
and
of,
they're going to go 8-9, and then Combs does the last dab.
Yeah, so there is a last dab challenge up for if Jameis loses more than he wins, right, or whatever. So, yeah. But speaking of injury, Odell Beckham Jr. has been ruled out for the Texans this coming Sunday. He was it kind of looked like to me he was a healthy scratch, but they are kind of protecting his knee coming back from that ACL injury, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, Mr. Wyatt Williams, the Wyatt Williams at Man Hour. Is this a big loss for the Cleveland Browns?
I don't know if it was necessarily a big loss. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr. is definitely an explosive playmaker. He's really good with the slant. You can utilize him in many different ways. He's got great hands to catch the ball. So, I mean, anytime you lose a player like that is your wide receiver one or arguably wide receiver one, Jarvis Landry might be that guy. He could be the two. Still, it's a loss, and that's not ideal ever. But we did see last year once Jameis went out, or not James, excuse me, I'm still on the Saints here. But once Odell did go out last year, we saw what they did. They ended up going on and winning a playoff game. The Browns look like a completely different team. So I don't know. This might ultimately be a good thing for them, but at the same time, like I said, you lose a good playmaker here in Odell.
Yeah, I feel like you lose a very overrated playmaker, but that's just me. Tori, what are your thoughts?
What are you talking about? Odell's the number one in Cleveland. Odell's barely
target-wise, when he's healthy, he is.
He's barely the 3 at this point. Jarvis Landry took that team over. I'm talking about even when he's healthy. He's injury prone these days. Like I'm not going to say he's not a great wide receiver, but because of his injuries, he's not the receiver he was. Jarvis Landry is the clear-cut number 1 there. This doesn't hurt them at all to not have him in there because, as we saw last year, Baker Mayfield spread the ball around a ton more. It made Baker Mayfield a better quarterback. I liken it to when Brett Favre had Sterling Sharp and Sterling Sharp got injured. All of a sudden, Brett Favre had to find other receivers to throw it to instead of keying on one guy every single time. That forced Baker to look all over the field. The man has weapons everywhere. They don't need OBJ to be a great receiver or a productive receiver because they have weapons everywhere else at this point.
Yeah, you guys are exactly right. I mean, like Odell, like we saw it. Like me and Combs sat right here on the Man Hour, and we said the Cleveland Browns are better without Odell Beckham Jr. on the field. I mean, and we saw it just because of what Baker was doing. He was spreading the ball more. I feel when Odell Beckham Jr. is in there, he has to he feels like, man, I got to get Odell 15 targets in the first half, or he's going to throw his helmet on the sideline and propose to the kicking netter. It's just some crazy antic that he does. And to be honest, Odell Beckham is probably the most overrated receiver in all of NFL football. Yes, he's had some good season with the Giants, but besides the catch, well, what has he done? I don't have his stats in front of me by any means, but I can only think of maybe 1,000 or 2,000 yard seasons that he has had, and that was early in his career when he had extra help. Who was the second receiver in Giants when they with Eli? There it was Eli, and then
Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz,
Mr. Salsa.
Yeah, so I mean,
love that.
Clearly, Odell Beckham Jr. is not a number 1 receiver because he needs his Batman to his Robin, Spider-Man to Lois Lane, I don't know, whatever. I don't know action figures, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But Odell, he is just so overrated. When I saw a top 10 receiver list last year, and people had him number 7. I'm like, I don't think he's even number 20. Let's just be honest. I don't think he is a number 1 receiver on any team in the NFL.
So. His stats.
Jets, Corey Davis.
His first 3 years in the league, 91 catches, 1,300 yards, 12 touchdowns. His second year in the league, 96 catches, 1,450 yards, 13 touchdowns. His third season, 101 catches, 1,367 yards, 10 touchdowns. He was hurt in 2017, had 25 catches, 302 yards, 3 touchdowns. His last season, he had 77 catches, 1,052 yards, and 6 touchdowns in New York. Now in Cleveland, between his first year in 2019 and last year, he had 74 catches for 1,035 yards and 4 touchdowns, and then 23 catches, 319 yards for 3 touchdowns. So his production since 2018 has been minimal and hurt at best.
Ever since they took that picture on the boat in New York. Y'all remember that? They took that picture. They were in Miami or whatever. When he was playing in New York, they all the players took that picture.
Wasn't it
or whatever.
during a bye week or something?
It was before the playoffs, the weekend before the playoffs or something. The Packers ended up stomping them. And ever since then, Odell just has not looked anything near what he was. It's not even been close.
So speaking of looking of not even know near who they are, the Philadelphia Eagles showed some spite of life last week, Mr. Wyatt Williams. I believe you had them going 1-16. Tori, you had them going 0-17.
3-14.
But don't look now. They are undefeated. So Mr. Tori Anderson at @manhour_Tori. Right now, the Philadelphia Eagles are leading the NFC East. Are they true contenders in the East?
Buck, it's 1 week. Hey. Weird things happen in the NFL.
Week one is overreaction week for everyone.
We talked about this last night, how you can't trust anything from week one. No, they are not the team that we thought they are, that they think they are. They are the team who we thought they were. You know, they will come back crashing to earth. They will realize they are the Philadelphia Eagles, and they will be mediocre at best.
Yeah. Wyatt, are they contenders in the East? I know you have friends that are Philadelphia Eagle fans.
Oh my God! And
so be sure to tread lightly here. Are they?
And they came down. They came down for this weekend too. Yeah. They were here while the game happened. So I got to hear all of that the Eagles are now going to the Super Bowl. And the Packers are now the worst team in the league. That's what I was told all Sunday. But yeah, and you can imagine Blake Zinner and Bryson Pirtle what they would have to say about the Eagles. But I love them to death, but there's just no way. I'm sorry. The Jalen Hurts is a really good playmaker, and I think that if anything, I don't think the Eagles proved anything to me. I think that two people proved something to me. And I think that was Jalen Hurts and Devonta Smith. I think Devonta Smith proved to everyone that he's not too small to be a wide receiver in the NFL. He looked amazing. I was very impressed by his route running, the catches he had made. It was a really good touchdown he had. I was also very impressed by the arm of Jalen Hurts. So I think those were the two names that I was most impressed with. I wouldn't say the Eagles as a whole were impressive because the Falcons really kind of ran all over them. I know the scoreboard doesn't depict it, but the Eagles ran a bend but not break defense all day. They were getting into the red zone all day. I mean, really, it wasn't that great of a performance. They played one of the bottom teams in the league and beat them. You kind of should do that if you're a mediocre or better team. I mean, I would say if I had to change my record for them, I think I had them like 3-14. I would give them a solid 5-13 now. I mean, they look better than what I thought they would. I had the Falcons winning that game. I was wrong. But
I'll change mine to 1-16.
I think we all were, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, I think the Falcons too. Like, so this is what the Eagles did to them in this game by winning this game, and then they won 32-6. Yes, Jalen Hurts threw for over 250 yards. Yes, Devonta Smith found the end zone. He's caught 71 yards on like through the air as well. The only thing that the Eagles did for them this season is they woke up the rest of the league like, hey, we just can't walk through this game like many of us thought. You know, they are going to give us some type of resistance. It is going to be like a varsity versus JV game. Like the JV is all hyped up until they get popped in the mouth hard the first 10 plays, and then they're going to fold like a $2 whore. With that being said, the Dallas Cowboys are still the favorite in the East. The Dallas Cowboys are still going to go 10-7. The Dallas Cowboys are still going to go third place or fourth place in the NFC playoffs and make it to the
Wait, hold on. What told you that they were the best team in the NFC East whenever they still lost after getting 4 turnovers? Was that what showed you that they were the best team in the NFC East?
The Cowboys?
The Cowboys got 4 turnovers and still allowed Tom Brady to win the game.
Hey,
4 turnovers.
Did Tom Brady throw 3 interceptions to the Packers and they still lost the AFC Championship or the NFC Championship game? I'm just asking for a friend at this point.
I'm not your friend, Buck.
I'm not your friend now after that. We're not friends after that.
Oh, I took down my green screen, but I had Lamar Jackson right there, and he's like, "How do you win in January?" I'm like, and then I said, "Don't ask the Packers."
No,
we lose in late January, early February.
Yeah, I was gonna say late January. We play until late January.
Yeah, we always play till late January. We just never make it to February.
We just can never make it to February.
So
we just can't win in February.
Let me put you guys on the spot. Who wins the NFC East after week 1?
The football team.
Okay. 13-4 still?
Yep.
Okay.
I don't know about 13-4. I think their defense got a little torched. I think their defense looked kind of rough, honestly, against the Chargers. Or Justin Herbert is just really finding his shell.
A lot of defenses are going to look terrible against the Chargers.
That's true. The Chargers have a really good offense. So, I mean, yeah, I'll take Washington to still win it. I don't think anybody else is going to beat them. And in that
Cowboys.
division, at least, I don't think they're all good enough. Cowboys will come close, but I don't think they'll do it. Cowboys look better than what I thought they'd be, at least. But
they'll do it twice.
I'll take the Washington football team.
So let's go ahead and jump into the comments here, guys, before we head to our next break and bring on Mr. Wayne G himself with That's Debatable and let Wyatt go do some homework. Blackthorn says the NFC champ is coming out of the West. That's a bold statement. Yeah, I mean,
that's a fact.
Yeah,
literally, you could name any one of the 4 teams. I said it last night. If you told me any one of those 4 teams is going to win the division, I'd be like, okay.
The only thing
if you told me that they were going to win the NFC, I'd be like, okay.
The only thing that scares me about the West is they're going to beat up on each other all year. So I wonder if they're going to come limping into the playoffs. Just because they're so beat up.
I think that's what's going to happen. Yeah. I think it's going to kind of be like what happened with the NFC South last year. Of course, now the Bucs did win it, but the Saints kind of fizzled out ever since once they got there and stuff because they had been beaten on so much from playing interdivision.
Yeah, and then Drew comes out and says IMO. I still don't know what IMO means.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
The only thing they proved was they just picked up where they left off and the Dak got hurt, throwing 35 plus yards.
What, that they got to play from behind all year?
You guys, that defense is going to step up. The defense is going to be just fine.
You're insane.
All I know is just as long as Dak Prescott is healthy, he's a start for me in fantasy too. Because that guy stays throwing the ball 24/7. He ends every game with at least 300 yards, and he'll run for 25 to 50, and he'll get 4 touchdowns, whether if that's through the air or on the ground.
Speaking of fantasy, Jalen Hurts did score more than Dak though. So
Jalen, did he?
Yeah, he was
Jalen Hurts
the
top scoring.
Yeah,
he was the top scoring fantasy player last week.
Yeah.
Jeez.
So Nana comes in and says, I was really hoping my Colts were going to be better this year. Hey, it's overreaction week 1. Just take a break.
It's overreaction week.
Is not hurt yet. Sam Ehlinger is not in there yet. Once Sam Ehlinger gets it, no, I'm totally kidding. The Colts are going to be fine. They just played a really good team. They played
Seattle during the first 8 weeks of the season. Whenever Seattle goes God mode, then they'll just fall apart and they won't look like a good team.
Yeah, and they'll make the playoffs, whatever.
Right.
And then Blackthorn comes out and says, this is referring to the NFC East. When I said they are going to beat up on each other, says that just makes them stronger. I do agree that makes them stronger, but if you hurt each other, that makes you weaker too. So it's a kind of a double-edged sword, at that point. What do you think, Tori?
I agree. It's a double-edged sword because you tend to play your division opponents that much harder because chances are they're a rival team.
Right.
And at that point, if you accidentally hurt somebody, you probably don't quite care as much.
Right, exactly. And then one last comment before we head to break and let Wyatt go. Blackthorn comes out and says, Saints are the only team not in the West that can win it all.
That is a false statement.
That's a false statement. Saints probably won't even make the playoffs. Let's just be honest. I'm trying to stroke Tori's ego so the bet doesn't go sideways for him. So Wyatt, thank you for being on here for the first half hour of the Man Hour. We do have Wayne G coming up with That's Debatable after the break. But Wyatt, do you have anything you want to say to the people before we send you out on your hiatus till the next time?
Yeah, let me just say something so I can get muted real quick.
And on that note, guys, Wyatt Williams will be back here shortly. No, Wyatt, I'm totally kidding. The only reason why I did that because you said you thought I was going to mute you. I'm not going to mute you.
I don't believe you. You do this crap all the time, and I end up getting muted like 37 times, and I am not going to do this.
I won't do it this time. Hands are up. Go ahead, go.
No, Tori's going to do it.
No, I won't.
I'm being diabetic and checking my blood sugar right now.
But for real, but before Wyatt, tell the people where to find you on Twitter. Go ahead. Send the people out. Tell them you'll be back next week.
I will be back very soon. Not 100% sure when that is. Hopefully next week. That would be nice. But I will be back as soon as possible once, everything's balanced out with this college thing. We're getting there. And love you guys. Miss everybody on the show. Everybody like Drew, Nana, everybody. I'm going to forget 1,000 names. But everybody who listens, appreciate you. And yeah, I'll be back soon.
All right, man. We will catch you next time. Have a good night, big guy. All right, guys, so we are up against the next break here on the Man Hour. Man Hour is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Head over to thrivefantasy.com and use promo code MANHOUR, and they'll match up to $50 on your first deposit. That's thrivefantasy.com. Promo code MANHOUR. You can also download that on Android and iOS devices. We'll be right back after this short little break.
ManHourRadio.com.
Man Hour Nation brought to you by Brooks Roofing and Siding. Contact them at 812-868-7663 or online at brooksroofingin.com. Brooks Roofing and Siding, protection you need when nature strikes.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Blackside along with Tori Anderson tonight. Did you guys know that we're giving away a free trip to Las Vegas during the April draft in 2022? That's right. The Man Hour is paying for your flight and hotel the weekend of the draft in April 2022 when we go to Las Vegas. The Man Hour will be there along with one special guest. How do you get entered into that? You simply head over to youtube.com/Man Hour and hit that join button. If you become a $5.99 member or higher, you get automatically entered into that Vegas trip. You can also gain additional entries by becoming a top chatter during the week. So if you head over to youtube.com/Man Hour right now, you can play the games, you can duel people, you can gamble, and of course you can play the slot machines as well to get more points. You get more points by sharing, liking, and commenting on the stream. It is all an automated process. So at the end of each week, we give the top 5 chatters in points, 5 entries, 4 entries, 3 entries, 2 entries, and 1 entry from 1 through 5. So let's go ahead and welcome everybody back onto the show here. We have a man, the myth, the legend himself. If I could find the button to get off of the screen, there it is. We have Mr. Wayne G tonight. Wayne G is from Infinity Sports. He is a part of the Belly Up Sports Network as well as Man Hour is. So first things first, Wayne, tell the people about who you are, where they can find your podcast and your blogs.
Absolutely. I am the host of Infinity Sports. As you mentioned, we are on the Belly Up Sports Network. You can find us anywhere you listen to podcasts. We're on Twitter at SportsInfinity5. If you go to bellyupsports.com, you can find my blogs. I'm the best blogger on the network. I pretty much cover basketball. My newest article is 5 ways to improve the NBA All-Star Weekend, and it is a banger. So check it out.
All righty. Guys, as always, Wayne G does join us every Thursday at 8:45 East Coast time with the segment called That's Debatable. So Wayne gives us 3 or 4 topics, and he thinks, they are debatable topics, and he tries to get our opinion on it. So Wayne G, without further ado, what is That's Debatable topic number 1 for tonight?
My favorite topic of the night, and this has to go back to a poll you guys touched on at Monday's show, but I did a poll where I said, which one of these quarterbacks is better? I put a silhouette up there. I didn't actually put the quarterback, who they were, just their statistics, and I said, who's better? Quarterback 1, quarterback 2. Now, overwhelmingly, I think 18-2 was the final tally. Quarterback 1 won, including getting a vote from Mike and from Tori. Yep. And then when I revealed the names, quarterback 1, who Mike had voted for, was Lamar Jackson, and quarterback 2 was Josh Allen. And I said, basically, the premise, Lamar Jackson's a better quarterback than Josh Allen.
Yeah. So first things first is I got to say that is a false statement because we all know that Lamar Jackson is a good quarterback, but not a great quarterback. So just to add context of like what you said, the images that you, the stats that you put up there were passing yards, touchdowns, and interceptions, right?
And completion percentage.
Yeah, and completion percentage. So Lamar Jackson, I think he had like 19 interceptions versus 32 interceptions. And the reason why I voted number 1 is because I thought the interception numbers were a lot more impressive. Like it was nearly half of what Josh Allen, quarterback number 2, had. But with that being said, this is the time where I feel that stats really lie. Just because like you can say, oh, this person threw for 6,000 yards, but then this person threw for 9,000 yards. I mean, you were going to pick the 9,000 yard quarterback, but what if he's a cancer in the locker room? What if he's consistently putting his team in bad spots, So the blind stat test, I think, is kind of a not a bad judgment, but it is a incomplete judgment. So I do not think that Lamar Jackson is a better quarterback than Josh Allen. I would almost kind of put them like a 1A, 1B, because like I feel like Josh Allen improved so much last year that we need to see it this year to see if he can maybe surpass Lamar Jackson per se. Tori, what are your thoughts?
Lamar Jackson is the greatest quarterback in the NFL history.
He is getting close. If he would duplicate his year 2 every year, I mean, he would definitely be the greatest.
The thing is this is the reason I put Lamar Jackson ahead of Josh Allen. He can get out of the pocket a lot more. He's got a lot more speed. The thing is
wait, hang on though. You didn't judge that off of the stats. You picked off of stats, not of what he does on the field.
How many MVPs does Josh Allen have?
No. But I'm saying when you voted strictly off of stats. What's
Josh Allen's record as a starter?
I have no clue.
Versus Lamar Jackson's.
That was not in the stats though. What Wayne G posted was passing yards, completed possession, touchdowns, and interception. There was no rolling out of the pocket. There were 85% passes like out of the pocket. There was none of that stats. So how did you know that? It was Lamar Jackson that you were picking.
I didn't know it was Lamar Jackson I was picking. I went with the guy that's not going to turn the ball over.
Okay.
Give me the guy that's going to take care of the ball.
And I think that goes to exactly what Buck was saying. I know I heard you guys say too, like statistics can lie. Statistics never lie, by the way. People lie with statistics by not providing all of them. So I want to do you guys a favor. Let's, Tori asked what the records were. Well, Lamar Jackson's 30-8 and Josh Allen's 28-16. So he's got a better winning percentage. Who averages more yards per attempt? That would be Lamar Jackson. Who has fewer interceptions? Lamar Jackson.
Yards per attempt.
Yards per attempt, right? Because obviously Josh Allen throws the ball a lot more. That's the way the offense is designed for him. Right. But if Lamar Jackson had the same attempts, he'd have more yards.
Yeah, exactly.
And Then we've got passer rating 102.5 to 90. Again, Lamar Jackson. Who's been sacked fewer times? Lamar Jackson. More rushing yards? Lamar Jackson. Higher rushing average? Lamar Jackson. Fewer fumbles? Lamar Jackson. So really, statistically, the only thing that Josh Allen has over him, and there's only one thing, and that's total yards because he does pass so much more. But other than that, Lamar Jackson is superior in every single category the NFL tracks.
So one question, just for like my head here, when you calculated those passing yards, those are like passing catching yards. Those aren't like just like balls in the air, right?
No, yards per attempt. So if they have 50 attempts, how many total yards? You divide the yards by the attempts.
Right. So in theory, Lamar Jackson can throw screens like he does, and then the running back can throw for 60 yards, and that counts as 60 yards, right? I mean, it doesn't count as a 1 yard pass.
Correct.
No, it counts as
same thing with Josh Allen. He can hit Stephon Diggs in a 2 yard bubble and then run for 90 yards.
Yeah, I agree with that 100%. But I was just like making sure like you weren't like just because I think if you go to PFF or they actually do like ball yardage in the air or something, they do some crazy stats over there. If you haven't been over there, they do some crazy stats. But like the one thing that I think as far as Josh Allen over Lamar Jackson is because like I think we've seen the pinnacle of Lamar Jackson. Like I think we've seen what he can do at his highest peak, and that was year 2. Obviously MVP caliber year, and I think we have yet to see the best of Josh Allen. Like he kind of reminds me of Derek Carr a little bit, where he's getting better each year. And so when Josh Allen is going like this and Lamar Jackson's kind of flatlining, maybe getting a little better here or there, but at some point, those lines cross and Josh Allen will be better in the end.
Except Lamar Jackson's ceiling is already right here and Josh Allen's still down here. And Josh Allen's still ascending.
I think they both have high ceilings. I mean, Josh Allen's got one of the best arms I've ever seen. But I'm just saying that, like you're saying, you said, well, they're going like this, and eventually Josh Allen's going to overtake him. So what you're saying then is Lamar Jackson's better because Josh Allen hasn't overtaken him yet.
Well, like, let me refer to what I said about 5 minutes ago. Is like, I think they're already at that. What's that point where the line crosses the line? The
crossroads?
The crossroads. No, it's not the crossroads, but it's like where the straight line crosses the angled line. You know what I'm saying?
Intersection. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It's some big word that I'm probably going to use wrong, and people are going to ridicule me for it. I learned it.
Where'd you go to college? Kansas State.
Yeah, we didn't. I didn't go to school. Come on, man. I was a football player.
School.
You know
school.
Class. We're talking about class. I got none, by the way. Move it on, Wayne. Sorry.
No worries. So yeah, the other one was an NBA topic. I know I'd sent it to you guys. You could do a little bit of research before I came on, but I had said looking over the 2022 NBA Hall of Fame class, or the nominees, we'll call it. I don't think anyone deserves it. I think the 2022 class should have 0 inductees.
Tori, I'll let you handle this one first.
I am going to, I went through and I looked at all the potential inductees for the 2022 Hall of Fame. There's as of right now, there's 220 of them.
Well, I'm just saying the top ones.
Yeah. Nobody really impresses me at all. I would tend to agree that nobody really deserves to get in because there's certain guys that you could say, well, this is what he did. Great. But this is the other one. Honestly, there's only one player that averaged a double-double that's eligible for the Hall, and that is Buck Williams. Are you really putting Buck Williams in the Hall of Fame?
I mean,
the next closest one is Kevin Johnson, who averaged I think it was 13 points and 9.1 assists a game. Are you putting Kevin Johnson in, who's been eligible just like Buck Williams has been eligible for quite a few years already? Probably not. There's really nobody. There is nobody that stands out in this class. Man, they should really be in. I'm gonna always pound the table for my guy Marquise Johnson just because, well, he's a former Buck, so I just want him in the Hall. And the guy's 50 some years old and can still dunk with the best of them. I don't know if you've ever seen his YouTube videos.
I've seen White Man Can't Jump, right? No, this ain't Raymond.
So, he it's really hard looking at it. There's some names they were pretty good, but there's nobody man, they belong in the Hall. Absolutely not. I would agree that this year, this crop should be a 0.
Yeah, I mean, just like what you said, Tori, nothing really pops out at the screen at you by like any means. But one name that kind of like I feel like should be in the Hall of Fame just because like the longevity of his career. I think he has like 6 championship rings as well, all played on one team, and that's Manu Ginobili. Like he had like I gotta even know that he's been out of the league since 2003. So like I feel like it was just yesterday I was seeing him and Tim and win championships. So like as far as stat wise, nothing jumps off at the page at you by any means, but there are a few names just like you said, like you have Sean Kemp. Sean Kemp was a staple in Seattle forever.
For 3 years. For 3 years. He had 3 good years.
Just because he had 3 good years, in your opinion, he was still a very staple in that town. And
he weighed like 400 pounds by the time he's out of the NBA like 4 years later.
I don't care. It is what it is. And Tim Hardaway,
and he had like 30 kids that time frame.
Pretty good series.
I will agree. I always thought I loved Tim Hardaway. The UTEP 2-step was like one of the first kind of like signature named moves. Like
right.
I remember playing like NBA Live, be like UTEP 2-step. But
we always talk about like what if a player like never got injured, like but like what if the fight at the Palace never happened? Would we be talking about Jermaine O'Neal as a Hall of Famer? I mean, he is up there to become in the Hall of Fame, and he was like the guy in Indiana for they were passing the torch when like Reggie Miller was like at the end of his career, obviously, and I think Jermaine O'Neal came from. Forgot what team he got traded to or from, but Portland. Portland. But like, I don't think he even deserves to be in there, honestly. But Wayne, I mean, you're the basketball guy.
Yeah, the malice at the Palace didn't really affect that at all. I mean, he only missed half a season. It isn't like he got expelled from the league. And when he came back, he just wasn't that great. A guy who's in that similar category, who's on this list, I had Elton Brand, again, former number 1 overall pick. He had 6 seasons where he averaged 20 points per game, but he was a 2-time All-Star. He didn't his finished his career averaging 15. The other one is Chauncey Billups, because everyone thinks of, big shot Chauncey, right? But again, he averaged like 16, 15 points per game for his career. And once we start electing those guys in, I feel like then it's just like the hall of anybody who played.
True.
But you could be same could be said though. And I think the NFL already opened that door too by letting Terrell Davis in. Terrell Davis didn't have that. Like, what Terrell Davis play 6 years?
I don't know. Was that short?
Yeah, it was very short. It's 6 years, maybe pushing. Honestly,
he had like 3, maybe 4 good years, and then blew out his ACL, blew out his other ACL, and was done.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I feel. And I don't want to see the NBA do that. Literally, like you look at that, and it doesn't. Nothing screams at you. I looked at Manu too, and I'm like, all right, yeah. Like, are you taking leadership into like?
I feel like you got to add the eye test in there, right? I mean,
no,
you don't.
No,
so you simply just look at stats like points, like it was so like he was a point guard. So like, what kind of stats are you looking for as a point guard that should really? Is it the assists? Is it the points, or as a point guard?
If it is a point guard, I'm looking at assists, and I'm looking at maybe NBA all defense teams, steals, things like that.
Turnovers.
In Manu's case, he was a small forward, but even then, he got 4 championships with the Spurs. So that's why people will think about him. But he's only a 2-time All-Star, 13 points per game, and like I said, I understand he won those championships and he was a staple on that Spurs team. But BJ Armstrong was a staple on the Bulls. Are we putting him in too? It's like you got to draw the line somewhere.
So let me ask you this: are they obligated to vote people in every year into the Hall of Fame?
No,
I don't think
they
are.
Baseball. It's like baseball. You don't have this year's baseball doesn't put anybody in, so
right. I just I didn't know because I got to know a lot about the NBA Hall of Fame. Like obviously, I was just kind of curious. Okay, well, what's next, Mr. Wayne G? Here on That's Debatable.
Yeah, so sticking with basketball, I came up with this idea because I was debating this earlier in the week that people always refer to the 1992 Olympic team as the best team ever assembled, that the Dream Team, the first one, and they are in terms of name value or name recognition. But when you factor in the fact that, Magic was already retired, Bird was already retired, Drexler was on the downslope of his career, it's not the best team ever assembled. The 2012 U.S. Olympic team is the greatest team ever assembled with Kevin Durant, LeBron James, Westbrook, Kobe, Kevin Love, CP3, Davis, Carmelo Anthony. That's the best team ever assembled.
Yeah, so I'll go first on this one, Tori. Like a guy, I think people refer to the '92 team as the best team ever, is because I think we as Americans put that staple on them. We put them as the dream team, right? And what I believe they put that team together just because like we weren't even doing well in the basketball in Olympics, and so they decided, hey. Wayne, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're playing like a bunch of high school kids, I think, maybe college kids.
It was college. Prior
college.
to that, it was only college kids that could play in the Olympics.
Right. So like that was the first time we seen like a quote superstar team go over there. But Wayne, I got to agree with you. The 2012 team, as I believe they're referred to as the Redeem team, if my memory serves me correct, all of those players that you listed, they were in their primes, like they were at the peak of their game. They could probably play the 92 team head to head. And I think they would win a 7-game series and probably sweep them we'll be honest. So the 2012 team is definitely better than the 92 team, in my opinion.
So I'm still sticking with the dream team, with the 92 team. And now I'm going to use your own logic. You just said there was players on that team that were on the downhill slide of their career. Mm-hmm. And they still went out and dominated everybody without even really trying or breaking a sweat. You did. The 2012 team had all the players that are in their prime. And granted, that team could have had a lot more bigger names. If you look at the players that had to pull out from that 2012 team because of injuries, that roster would have been ridiculous. However, as constructed as it was versus 92, give me the 92 team is the greatest of all time. Because like you said, there was players that were retired on that team. They were done playing against younger kids, and they made it look easy to me. So I'm still going to stick with the dream team because there again, you had retired players on that team.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably make it easy playing against a 7-year-old too. But the fact of the matter is the 92 world teams, come on. I mean, they weren't any better than a men's league team. That 2012 team had to play Spain with Rubio and Fernandez and the two Gasol brothers, and that team probably would have beaten the 92 team, that Spain team.
The thing is, where do you think that started?
They started it.
The 92 team started the international push for players. And so that's where overall it's overall the 92 team still. You could say it, but there again, it goes back to Wilt played against guys that were smoking in the locker room. You play against who you play against. You can't change that.
Right.
So you can't, it's comparing apples to oranges at that point because the international game, because of that team, exploded. And all of a sudden they all put a little bit more emphasis on basketball. And now we're reaping the fruits of seeing all these international players.
And the cultural impact that they had puts 0 points on the scoreboard.
I agree. But the 92 team would put up about 150 on that 2012 team.
Oh, yes. They put up 80 if they're lucky.
Right. Okay. I'm just going to let it go. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. No, that's fine if you had a comment.
No, it's dumb.
Okay.
I'm going to mute myself. I'm going to mute myself.
Just like most of Buck's takes, like Lions stuff.
Yeah, so back into football for you guys. This one was pretty straightforward. I was talking with somebody at work today. Totally agreed with him. I think Urban Meyer's one and done. I think he coaches this year in Jacksonville, and then he's back to college. I don't think he's going to coach any more than this 1 year.
Go ahead, Tori.
Ooh. Urban's got a pattern. I'm something's wrong with my ticker. I gotta step away. Goes back to the booth for a year. Oh, wait, what? Oh, you want me to go back to coach at Dabo Sweeney went to the NFL? You want me to take over Clemson? I guess I'll try to take that over. Like he'll literally, I could 100% see that because he will wait for his next great opportunity because he's going to, in his eyes, tarnish his name in the NFL. He's going to pull a Nick Saban. Oh, this was fun. Let me out of here. I'm going back to college.
Yeah, 1 year I think is kind of pushing it a little bit just because of the name that he has. Like I feel like he'll be out there at least 2 years, depending on if Eric Bieniemy fills that USC job. If Eric Bieniemy does not take that USC job, I could definitely see a one and done, leave in the middle of the night. Hell, leave week 12 to go take that USC job to start his recruiting process, through January and like all that stuff. So, but Tori, you are absolutely right, 100%. you can already kind of see it like toward the end of the game when they're getting throttled by Houston. He kept like rubbing his chest, rubbing his arms, like he had certain aneurysms. I'm like, what is going on, man? Like he is setting something up to be like, oh, I broke my hip week 10. I've been playing on a broken hip, or I've been coaching on a broken hip for 2 weeks. I better leave in the night. I think he will be there for 2 seasons. And if he doesn't turn it around, I'm talking like successful, at least 9-win season, he will pull some type of Urban Meyer thing, whether it be his heart condition or I don't think he coaches college right off the bat. I think he will go
He'll
back
go to the booth. He'll go to the booth for a year because that's his MO, because now I'm healthy enough to coach again.
Yeah. I could see him being on Monday Night Football, honestly, because right now their commentary is not very good.
Well, I think what it comes down to is that, there's already reports that the players in Jacksonville aren't really fond of him. He wanted them to play the preseason games like they were Super Bowls, and they were like, dude, what are you talking about? He's not taking the advice of his assistant coaches who have coached in the NFL before. He's doing his own thing and trying to do it. So he's alienating his coaches, he's alienating his players, and you've got a generational talent that you just took in the first overall pick. You cannot ruin this guy. So I think it's going to be a mutual decision, is what they'll call it. And he's going to leave after 1 year. And whether it's 1 year in the booth or whatnot, I think he's going to take his dream job, which is Brian Kelly's going to be out at Notre Dame and Urban Meyer's going to be in.
Wait, so I thought Ohio State was his dream job.
No, he already coached there. His dream job is Notre Dame.
See, I'm going bold prediction. Lincoln Riley bolts for the NFL and he takes over at Oklahoma.
Because
then he can go back to the
Big 12.
No, because he'll be heading back to the SEC.
Oh, that's right. I forgot Oklahoma and Texas are going to SEC, aren't they?
In 2024.
Yeah,
so
that's also when the NCAA is going to disband too.
I am pretty sure that I could coach Oklahoma in the Big 12 and win the Big 12 title too.
And then the last one I had for you, another basketball one, but more of like a kind of like a pop culture basketball. I'm not sure, which is obviously the images came out of Russell Westbrook showing off his new look, which was wearing a long white dress, a sweater, and boots, like combat boots, right? And I honestly didn't think it was a big deal. Like everyone was losing their mind about this, and I was like, isn't this kind of in line with how he normally dresses anyways? He dresses really crazy. He wears like construction worker vest with like a suit jacket and blazer and no t-shirt or something. Like he's just weird the way he dresses. So this was totally in character for him. But when I saw the video of Kwame Brown giving his thoughts on the matter, it's funny. I watched about 2 minutes of this Kwame Brown rant, and I thought, wow, can't believe this guy didn't go to college.
We all know my thoughts on Kwame Brown. You and I have debated that already, Wayne, that he is not the worst, but one of the worst for production wise, one of the worst first overall picks. However, I will agree his take sucked. I just finally got to see it literally when I got home from work. So I'm like, what is everybody talking about with this? Like, because I'd seen it and I'm like, what the? And it's 2021. Nobody gives two flying craps anymore. Like, whatever, you do you. The thing is he tried to play in my opinion, the whole toxic masculinity card, and it's going to just backfire on him because most people just don't care. They're like, whatever, dude, have your opinion, but we don't care what you say. Let the dude be the dude. So Kwame just is going to end up looking like the dumb one out of all of this. And then again, like you said, Westbrook's eccentric the way it is. Everybody's like, that's just him.
Yeah.
So for somebody to complain about it now and be like, oh, and try to throw it out there, no, not going to fly. Not in 2021.
I kind of feel like he's just kind of trying to keep his name in the limelight with his little rant. What is it, on Instagram Live or whatever? I can't even remember what it was on. But looking at Russell Westbrook's dress here, first things first is you can't wear white after Labor Day, right? So he's wearing white on white, and he has black boots with gray socks on. Even I'm a dude that has no fashion sense, and I know you don't wear black, gray, and white. Like, that is absolutely, come on, man. If he's going to leave his house like this, his man needs to tell him to like straighten up and do things here. But no.
So you only wear white socks with your sandals to the beach?
I actually wear those toe socks, those striped toe toe socks. They're actually really comfortable if you can actually get them on your toes. But no, like I feel like Russell Westbrook right now he kind of reminds me of Dennis Rodman now, when like Dennis Rodman got traded from the Pistons to the Bulls. Yeah,
the Spurs.
Oh yeah, to the Spurs, and like he just wasn't comfortable in his skin, and I feel like, you know, like, have you guys seen that documentary on Dennis Rodman? It's on
the one about 2 days in Vegas or whatever.
Yeah. It was just like, man, it's actually a really cool like story through his life and like why he acted the way he acted, and I think we're gonna kind of see Russell be like that, you know, in 10 years, just kind of be all crazy and. You know, he's just trying to express himself and doesn't know how to.
So he's going to go visit North Korea and be like, "This place is awesome."
No, like I'm not trying to say it just like that, but like just like how some people, they just don't know how to express themselves. So, you know, like just like you see those high school kids that they're in all black, right? Just because they're trying to be different from everybody else, and they think like, I'm going to do this lifestyle and it's going to, and I'll be able to exert my energy that I have built. I don't know. It's just I don't know what kind of word I'm trying to say. What?
Spell that word.
I can't speak.
I think Russell Westbrook here. I think that he is definitely eccentric, and I think that that's something that he definitely likes to put out there. Like, look, I'm an individual. I'm different than everybody else, and I think he likes that people kind of react a certain way. Where I will say that I disagree with Tori a little bit is when he says nobody cares. There are still, I don't care. You know, like I said, I was like, all right, whatever. I actually think he rocked it. But, you know, there are people who do care. And the people who do care and who are really angry about it are the toxic masculinity people that he's talking about. The people who are like, guys shouldn't wear dresses. And, you know, what are you teaching our kids? And I'm like, who cares? I teach your kids to wear whatever they want and not be worried about what people think about them, especially their parents, loser.
So I actually just read about this outfit. He got paid $10,000 to wear this dress.
Hey,
so
I'm sure
he talks.
10 grand to him is like maybe like $5 to us. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, but you know, it just shows you that people do anything for like money, right?
I'll do it for 1,000.
Shoot, I'll do it for free if it gets me out, right? No, I'm totally kidding. But Wayne, thank you for joining us.
What kind of panties do I got to wear?
None.
All right, Wayne, thank you for joining us as always every Thursday here on the Man Hour, 8:45 East Coast time. Before we let you go, Wayne, let the people where they can find you.
Absolutely. BellyUpSports.com. Check out the blog. Check out all the great podcasts on there, and on Twitter at SportsInfinity5. I will react if you guys have any comments.
All right, guys. So we are going to take our next break. On the other side of the break, we got Shop Talk coming up. So if you guys have saved some questions, let us know in the comment section here at youtube.com/Man Hour, and we'll talk about anything that you want. All right, here after the break on Man Hour. Let me find the break, Tori. Where's it at? There it is.
What is your name?
What?
What is your name?
Fuck.
Where did you get that shirt?
It's funny that you should ask that. Head over to manhourradio.com. You can pick up the shirt up. $15.
Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhead with Tori Anderson. You can find us on the old Twitter machine at manhour_Buck and, of course, manhour_Tori. Tonight's episode is brought to you or powered by Belly Up Sports. Head over to bellyupsports.com. Check out their blog section. Of course, hundreds of different sports shows over there as well. And then, of course, we got to give a big shout out to 313 The Flash, as they've been airing us since day one over there at 313theflashradio.com. Huge shout out to Martez and the crew over there. They suffered a big loss over the weekend, so our thoughts and prayers go out to the whole crew over there at 313 The Flash, 313theflashradio.com. You can also find them on Facebook at Open Talk 313 The Flash. So big shout out to those guys as well. Also, we have promo codes for Thrive Fantasy at thrivefantasy.com. Use promo code MANHOUR on the match up to $50 on your first deposit. You can also download on iOS and Android devices. And our newest promo code is Yeats Sunglasses, yeatsoriginal.com. You can use promo code MANHOUR at that website. The link is in the description. They'll take off 10% of your order. So I actually just got my sunglasses in the mail. I ordered about 5 pairs, gave them to my brother-in-laws. They love them. Cindy loves hers, and I got a great promo coming for you guys here with the Yeats sunglasses coming up here very, very shortly. So let me go ahead and welcome Mr. Tori Anderson back onto the show here. Tori, it is time to open up the floor for some shop talk. Let the people ask questions, banter. You're shaking your head, and were you reading something or?
I'm shaking my head at you.
Why?
I want to see. Show us your Yeats. Show us your Yeats. Show us your Yeats.
They're inside, but so
did you just not have a break?
True. You're very, very true there, Wyatt. Tori. Wyatt Combs. I feel like my wife right now. She calls me everything but like I get called the dog name like all the time. Michael, get over here. Yeah. So.
Well, now you broke the doggy's camera on the treat dispenser.
I moved it. That's all I did. I moved it. I didn't break it.
I thought you were gonna die, buddy. I really did.
Guys, seriously, it was yesterday, like 5 minutes before the show started. She comes storming out. Why'd you move my camera? We were wrestling. Don't you touch it or I'll kill you.
Touch that camera, boy.
She's like, I got the acid for the bathtub right now. Nobody will ever know you're here. Damn, girl. No, I'm totally kidding. She would not do that. She would like chop me up and like throw me in a gas tank or something. She's been watching the Discovery ID channel, like How to Get Away with Murder or something like that. I was like,
pig trough. All you need is a pig trough. Pigs will eat everything. Yeah,
except for the teeth. So you got to like pull the teeth out and sprinkle them in the driveway, right, or something.
Yeah, grind them up into gravel.
Yeah, something crazy like that. So it is time for Shop Talk, guys. So if you guys have any questions whatsoever, head over to youtube.com/manhour. And the first question that I see is from Drew, and he says, "How about that Salvador Perez home run?" Drew, is that his second home run of the day, or just one earlier today? They didn't play a back-to-back game, did they today? But either way, Salvi is tied with 45 home runs, leading the league now with Vlad. So, Tori, do you think Salvador Perez could legitimately win the home run title?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care because he's on my fantasy baseball team. So
yeah.
I mean,
speaking of that, I'm actually have 8 wins. I'm kind of surprised by that.
I haven't looked at my roster in 3 weeks, so
yeah. And then somebody in the chat says, "Who's down for 9 beers?" I am. That was
9 holes, 9 beers.
Yeah, I mean, I'm down to and I said I like to party. Blackthorn says he's a Sacramento Kings fan. I'm a De'Aaron Fox fan, so by default, I guess I am a Sacramento Kings fan. Like, I've always kind of had a special heart, or a special place in my heart for the Kings. Actually, when who was that white chocolate that played for him? Or
Jason Williams.
Jason Williams, yeah. Like, I was a big fan of him. Do you ever go back and watch his highlight tapes and stuff like that?
No.
He was a ball handling.
He was.
God.
He was.
Yeah.
He was good. Yeah. I was a big fan of when Weber played for the Kings because they went from absolute obscurity to actually a decent team.
Who was the number 2 on that Chris Webber team? Was it Jason Williams?
No, because
I feel like they had another big name on that team.
They had Mitch Richmond.
Nah, that's not.
They had. You know who Mitch Richmond is?
Dude, my basketball knowledge is pretty much lacking, to be honest with you. The only basketball I know
they traded for Vlade Divac.
There you go, Vlade Divac is what I'm thinking of. Isn't he like the owner now of the Sacramento Kings or something?
Yeah, he's like a part owner. Them or the Hornets. It's one of the two.
It's definitely the Kings, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. Either way. Drew says he still has Tim Hardaway's rookie card. That's probably worth some money, isn't it?
It's worth like $4.
Oh man, come on! Like what the card market is right now, you think it's only worth $4? And then Drew comes back and says, "Stats never lie, but how you interpret the stats that can lie." That is true to an extent. Nana is a big Lamar Jackson fan. He says he's a hometown kid. Is Lamar Jackson from Louisville, Kentucky? I mean, like I know he played college here, but I don't think he's from Louisville. Is he? Let me look that up. I'm kind of curious now. Do you know where Lamar Jackson's from?
I do not. But Tim Hardaway's rookie card you can buy on Amazon or from this guy for 48 cents.
40. That's just the starting bet. You're so mean.
No.
This is
how
buy
much
now.
money? How much money is a Tim Hardaway rookie card worth? Tim Hardaway rookie card value is 48 cents.
Really?
Let's see what they're selling for on eBay.
That doesn't.
Oh, you can get his Fleer, his 1990-91 Fleer rookie card for $3 on eBay.
Drew, I was trying to boost that ego up like a little bit, but yeah. So, Joey, like, sure, you can call in, bud. You got the number.
That doesn't scream fake. A Michael Jordan rookie card, $12.
Oh yeah. The only cards that are worth anything are graded cards.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, I got a bunch of Pokemon cards from like 92 or something like that. And Wise like, you can sell these and make like $1,000. I'm like, go for it, man. We can split it half and half. I don't give a fuck. You kid.
Well, it's like, that's what I said. Like, I just want to get rid of my cards. Like, I have like a bunch. I've got like 6 Pedro Martinez rookie cards. I've got autographed cards from like Troy Aikman. I got a bunch of different autographs. I don't know how many different cards, like 3 Dan Marino rookie cards. Like, I'm like, I just want to sell my cards like $500 just to get them off my hands.
Yeah. So Joey asked if he could call in. I said, sure. He said, send a Facebook Messenger. I'm not going to call on Facebook Messenger, but you can call into the show at 812-406-8384. Let me throw the banner up at the bottom. We still got it. Yeah, we do. Lines are still open. There you go. We'll open the phone lines if anybody would like to call in. Drew comes out and says, I want your collection. Those Pokemon cards are worth a mint. Do not get rid of them. Actually, I did look it up. I have 3 cards that are worth over $1,500 a piece. So I do got some good ones. If anybody's interested, I'll give it to you like half price. Just saying. No SIN number in there. Just look at the page, man. There's Tori Anderson. Hey, Tori, how you doing tonight, buddy?
Am I calling number 7?
6.
Shit.
Joey, you got 3 minutes to call in, or I'm shutting the phone lines off, and we're going to make our picks for this week. Come on, man. Come on.
I already made my picks on the website.
Ooh, did you? On our ESPN fan page? Speaking of picks, guys, we are working out a deal right now with Tori, what's the name of it? Crap.
Is that the one you were telling me to check into this afternoon?
No, that is the dollar bets. We will get into that further down the road. This is the Pick'em Wars. So, guys, we are working out a deal with Pick'em Wars. So, if anybody is interested in winning some money for free, go to pick'emwars.com and they'll hook you up. So, we do got a caller coming in, and I assume this caller is Joey. Joey, is that you on the line, big guy?
Yeah, I finally got a landline phone in my room, so I can call from here.
What is a landline?
Okay, the landline. You don't know what landline is. Shut up.
What's going on, bud?
What's up? I was going to talk about how Tim Tebow's no longer my favorite player.
Yeah. Well, why is that? Because he didn't make it to week 1, or because?
yeah, pretty much.
Did you get your money back on your jersey?
I didn't get a jersey.
I thought you said you got a jersey.
I thought you stole your mom's
wish.
credit card.
Yeah, I wish.
So who's your new favorite player now?
You spent it on Fortnite bucks.
Prime
You spent
time.
that V-Bucks.
Prime time Dion.
You weren't even alive. You weren't even thought of when he was playing.
Greatest Jackson State coach.
He's a coach. So you think he's the greatest coach of all time, not a player?
Yeah, I already bought a shirt. I bought a primetime shirt off the Barstool.
So you bought a Coach Prime shirt, not a Prime Time shirt. You bought Coach Prime shirt.
No, it's primetime shirt.
Really?
Yeah, I'll send you the link to it so you can buy one too.
I actually have a Deion Sanders jersey when he played with the Cowboys, so I don't need a Prime shirt.
When he signed with the Niners, I had a San Francisco 49ers, and I had embroidered because it had the San Francisco logo on the back, and I had Sanders 21 embroidered above it.
Yeah,
I was cool.
Yeah, it's me. Like honestly, Deion Sanders brought so much swag to the NFL, and
every kid wanted to be Deion.
I was watching this like Barstool Sports do this like documentary thing. It's like 6 episodes on like what's it called, like Deion something. Yeah, but it did like 6 episodes. I was watching that.
Yeah, and
so you got like 7 gold chains now, Joey.
Yeah, obviously.
So as Deion Sanders as a player, primetime himself, what do you remember from him? Have you ever watched highlights of him? Have you watched any games of him or?
Yeah, I watched a little bit of highlights when he's at the Reds. Oh, and I also watched that ESPN 30 for 30.
Okay, so it was the day in the prime when he played a playoff baseball game like with the Braves and they came out and played the game with the Falcons.
I don't remember. It was like 4 years ago when I watched the 30 for 30.
Yeah. So when he played baseball with the Reds? It'd have been like 1 year.
Yeah, he played with the Bats
like a
too.
year.
Yeah. Yeah. So when he played with the Braves when he was really prime. So if you refer back to that 30 for 30, he was only prime when he played football. When he played baseball, he was just Deion. So just throwing it out there.
You just hit him off their players all the time. This team really actually sucks. He's never going to make it to another playoff game. He's never going to take another snap.
I'm not. So first things first is I'm not hating on Deion Sanders. I'm just stating like how he referred to himself.
Only player in history to ever hit a home run and score a touchdown in the same game or in the same day.
Yep. Very true.
Same game. All right. Yeah.
Same day.
All right. Well, thanks for calling in, Joey, and we will definitely be supporting your Coach Prime. Are you going to go to Jackson State now?
Oh, obviously.
Obviously.
Isn't
it an all-black school?
It's an HBCU school.
So, good luck with that, Joey.
Right.
I mean, maybe they'll make a special case for you.
All right, I'm out. See y'all
later, bud.
And Drew says he was the second player to play 2 professional sports. That is false. There was many other players before him that did that.
I mean, Bo Jackson did it.
John Elway.
It just I feel like Deion was the most prolific or prolific player to do it just because he had such a big name and he was a starter on like he chose to skip a Atlanta Falcons game, right? Or no, what game did he skip? Did he skip the Braves playoff game or the Falcons game? Like he skipped one of the games and it was like the world's ending. No, it was the Braves because his contract with the Braves only lasted up till like September or something. And the Braves were like, no, we need you to play because you're our guy. I mean, like he wasn't a starter, like he was that extra.
He was a starter. No, he was a starter.
I feel like in the playoffs he never played though. I don't know. But of course I was young then. That was like what 93, 94, like when all that happened. I do still have that Deion Sanders card where he's half in the Atlanta Falcons, half in the Braves. That was cool. I'm not gonna lie about that. That was pretty cool. But Tori, let's get into sports headlines again here. We got about 15, 20 minutes left here on the Man Hour tonight. There are 4 big key games that I want to talk about here tonight moving forward. And the number one game that I want to talk about is Buffalo taking on the Miami Dolphins. Obviously, this is a East game. The Buffalo Bills came off a loss. The Miami Dolphins beat the Patriots. But who is more who more important is this game for? I'm thinking, but I don't want to mix up the words. Which team is this more important for this week 2 game?
I would say for the Buffalo Bills, because you don't want to go down 0-2 and you don't want to lose the divisional game.
Right.
So give me it's way more important for the Bills to win this game. The Dolphins already want to know if they fall to 1-1, it's meh. But there's a huge difference between 1-1 and 0-2. Like, people don't realize the significance of that.
See, the problem that I'm running into right now is like all the stats that I looked up for like 0-2 teams. Like only like 40% of NFL teams make the playoffs if they start the season 0-2. But that's a 16-game season. That's not a 17-game season. So like I wonder like how like do those stats tell us false narratives for the 17-game season? Like I don't know. But I think this game is more important for Miami and Tua, him like himself, because Buffalo is coming down to Miami, and you know this could be a game for the division title. And if Miami can flex on the Bills a little bit when they play later in the season and it's cold and gnarly, and I think the Miami Dolphins have never won a game below 32 degrees, if I remember right, but I mean maybe like 1 or 2. But I think this is a bigger game for Miami simply because this is a 17-game season. If this was a 16-game season, I'd definitely say the Buffalo Bills, because 0-2 whole, you know, you still got to play the Patriots twice. You still got to play the Jet. You know, like their division's kind of sneaky good, right? So I think it's more. No,
the Jets are a cakewalk.
I'm not saying the Jets, but I'm saying the Patriots and the Fins, you know, they're both kind of sneaky good teams, you know?
Well, they're both potential playoff teams, but if I'm the Bills, like you're still the class of that division, regardless.
Okay. I will definitely give you that one. So the next game that I want to talk about is the Las Vegas Raiders taking on the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're obviously both 1-0. The Steelers came back in the second half and beat the Buffalo Bills. The Raiders came back in overtime to beat the Ravens. Who has more to prove in this game? Is it the Raiders or the Steelers?
Ooh. I'm going to say the Steelers, because we all expect the Steelers to be who we thought they were, and that's just a barely average team.
Yeah.
If they come out and they have a really good chance to smack the Raiders around. I believe even in my other stuff, I had them picked to beat them because the Raiders are coming off of a short week. They're coming off of a tough game, and they're going to Pittsburgh. You know, it'd be right, and I would give them a little more leeway if it was in Vegas, but it's not. So they're at a complete disadvantage. Give me Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh has a real good chance. If they come out and just throttle them, they have a chance to make the rest of us start eating crow.
Yeah, I would almost say that the Raiders have more to prove, just because, you know, I don't think anybody had the Ravens losing to the Raiders week 1, but I actually picked the Raiders to win that game, Monday night game. First time that fans are ever in that Las Vegas stadium. That place was rocking. It was loud. It was rowdy. So I think the Las Vegas Raiders have something to prove. Like, hey, we are not the bottom feeders of this league anymore. And I think if they start 0-2 and they beat 2 AFC North teams, that is a huge momentum moving forward. Just because, you know, like the Chiefs kind of have to look at them a little bit different. Like let's say Kansas City loses to Baltimore on Sunday Night Football. Though the Raiders got a leg up on them, right? I mean, so you know they're saying like, "Hey, we're better than you," and just like that confidence can just definitely add a lot of swagger to your team. So I think this is more for the Las Vegas Raiders moving forward. The next game that I want to talk about is the LA Rams versus the Colts. Does Carson Wentz have to win this game to kind of be considered as a top 15 quarterback, as I think he is, or top 10 even?
I would say yes, but he's got a lot more proving to do. He's got to prove he can stay healthy, first and foremost. That's the biggest thing. That's been the biggest knock on him. Nobody's really questioned him as being a good quarterback. They've questioned his ability to stay on the field because he can't. He just can't. He has proven to be very, very not durable. but he has a chance to turn around. You know what other quarterback was a China doll at the beginning of his career? Or was like, oh, he's going to be out of the league soon? Matt Stafford.
Right.
So, it's right on the exact opposite side. So, I think he would have to put together a heck of a season. He's really got to pull it together and have a good season. Pull off whatever kind of good record for the Colts, and probably win the AFC South for him to kind of even be considered a top 15 quarterback.
So the Rams come into this game 1-0, and the Colts are obviously 0-1. Who needs this game more?
Ooh. The Rams.
Yeah, I have to agree with that.
They play in the NFC West. Every win counts in that NFC West.
Exactly. And looking at the AFC South per week 1, I think they're a little bit weaker than what we thought they were going to be, because I think the Titans are down. Obviously, the Texans aren't as good as they were, and the Jaguars just suck. So the Colts can afford to start 0-2, maybe even 0-4, and they can still, rattle off 7-8 wins in a row and be perfectly fine. The final game that I want to talk about is the Minnesota Vikings versus the Arizona Cardinals. Is this a must-win game for both of these teams?
Not so much for... Well, and there again, I can't say the Rams need to get the NFC West and not say the Cardinals.
Right.
So, it's a must-win game for the Cardinals because there again, that West is going to be beastly. There again, if the Packers play like they did last week and are just not there, a loss for the Vikings isn't a death sentence. Literally every loss for any NFC West team is a death sentence.
Yeah, you are exactly right. So even if the Vikings were to lose and everybody else in their division wins, they're still only one game out, right? If the Cardinals lose, they're in last place in their division, and it is going to be hard for them to get back up, even into playoff, just because they do play each other 6 times moving forward. So guys, with all that being said, Tori, let's quickly just go pick through all the games here. We are going to start with tonight's game that's happening right now. And we're going to just give me a final score. Who do you got winning tonight versus the Giants versus the Washington football team?
Didn't we do this the other night?
We did. So let's start with the Bengals.
Wait, I take that back. I didn't get to give my final score. You and Brandon got to give your final score.
That's my fault.
It is, I'm going to say 24-10 Washington.
Okay, that's probably a pretty good score, honestly. So first game we're going to pick here is Cincinnati travels to Chicago to take on the Bears as a 1 p.m. kickoff on Fox. Who do you got winning?
The Bengals, not the bungle, to be 2-0, baby.
What's the final score?
Ooh, 24-20.
I like that score, but I'm going to go 21-17 Bengals. I think the Bengals go into Chicago and handle business. Houston Texans travel to Cleveland, 1 o'clock game on CBS.
Cleveland big. Cleveland like 31-14.
Ooh. I'm picking the upset. I'm going with Houston on this one. 17-10 is the final score. We just talked about Odell Beckham Jr. not being a big factor. I think not having Odell Beckham Jr. this week is going to be a big factor. Rams travel to Indianapolis to take on the Colts. 1 p.m. on Fox. Who do you got?
Rams. Give me the Rams all day long. And the Colts. I'm going to say the Rams put up a 40 spot. They're going to put up 41. 41-13.
41-13. I like your high score. I'm going to go 35-31 Colts. Bills travel to Miami to take on the Dolphins. 1 o'clock on Fox. Who do you got?
A little bit of an upset here. I'm going to take the Dolphins because they are so tough to play at home. Does not matter if their team is awful or not. They're always tough to play at home. And I'm going to go 27-24 Dolphins.
Yeah, I like where your head's at. It is a 1 o'clock game in Miami. It's going to be hot. It's going to be steamy. Hell, it might even be 105 degrees on the field. Like, you never know. I'm taking the Dolphins 17-7. I don't think the Bills offense never gets going. Patriots take on the Jets. 1 o'clock game on CBS. Who do you got?
Who is it?
Patriots versus the Jets.
Patriots 31-3.
I'm taking the Patriots as well. I'm looking at a 35-14 score, I think. What's his name? Wilson gets 2 touchdowns through the air. 49ers travel to Philadelphia to play a 1 o'clock game. Who do you got?
I really, really hate picking a West Coast team to go to the East Coast.
Yeah.
But I think the Eagles are going to show us who they really are. and they're not going to be a good football team. And that's going to show through. And I think that Niners defense is going to be a little too much for Hurts. He was playing like a JV team last week, and now he's going to have to play an NFL defense. Yeah. So I think it's going to be close, though. I'm going to go 31-24 San Fran.
I'm taking 49ers 31-3. I think the 49ers defense just flexes on Eagles this week. Vegas taking on Pittsburgh. This is another West Coast to East Coast game, 1 o'clock on CBS. Who do you got?
Who is it?
Raiders versus the Steelers.
Steelers. Give me the Steelers in that one. I think both of these teams got off to very slow starts on offense. I still think they're figuring out their offensive identities as we go into this. And I think it's going to be another slow game. I think it's going to be in a low scoring game. So give me the Steelers 20-14.
Yeah, I'm taking the Steelers as well. I'm picking 17-13 score here. I think the Josh Jacobs injury for the Raiders is going to catch up to him this week. Saints take on the Panthers, 1 o'clock game on Fox. Who do you got?
Skip. I'm just kidding. After watching what the Saints did in week 1, I got to take the damn Saints.
Yeah.
There again, though, because the game's at Carolina, right?
Right. And it is a division game.
It is. Score-wise, I don't know. CMC just I think this could actually be a high-scoring game for both teams because both of them have basically the number 1 and 2 number 1, number 2 running backs in the entire freaking league. And I think you're going to see a lot of dump-off passes to those guys. I'm going to go 38-35 Saints.
I'm going with Saints. I'm going 35-21. Sam Darnold throws a couple late touchdowns to make it respectable. Denver travels to Jacksonville, Florida, to take on the Jaguars. Who do you got?
I never thought I'd say that they're going to be 2-0 Denver Broncos with Teddy Bridgewater showing us the way. So we'll see. It is going to be a little bit warm and steamy there in Jacksonville. However, you still are dealing with a rookie quarterback and a rookie head coach.
It is going to have heart problems. I'm taking the Denver Broncos as well. 28-10 for my score.
I'm going to copy the score from last week, 27-10.
That's a good one. Vikings travel to Arizona, 4:05 matchup on Fox. Who do you got?
Arizona, 42-20.
I think the Vikings upset the Cardinals with a late touchdown, maybe a late field goal. Make it 29-25. That's the final score. 29-20, 20-25. A little weird score there. Falcons take on the Bucks. What do you got?
Give me the Buccaneers. What's the over/under? Because I'm betting that.
I don't know.
All day. I'm betting the over, and I am betting the spread. I am betting everything. I'm starting every Buccaneer for fantasy football. I shouldn't say that. Maybe running back, receiver, not so much because they ain't going to have to throw the ball very much. So, Buccaneers by the same score the Packers lost, 38-3.
Wow, I am taking the Bucks, but I'm predicting a close game. This is a divisional game here. Let's say 24-22 is the final score here for this one. I'd pick.
If you're in a 22 pool, whoever's got the Falcons would be loving you.
Yeah. So Dallas Cowboys take on the LA Chargers. What do you got?
It's at Los Angeles, correct?
Yep. Cowboys Nation, rise up. I'm taking the Cowboys.
Give me the Chargers.
Oh, okay. Tennessee Titans take on the Seahawks. Who do you got?
Seahawks.
I like the Seahawks too, especially first 8 weeks of the season. Sunday Night Football. We have the Kansas City Chiefs taking on the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you got?
Games at Baltimore. I'm going with Baltimore upsetting the defending AFC champs because they're going to be playing with the chip on their shoulder Sunday night.
As you guys know, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan, and I got to go with the Ravens, man. I'm not going to lie. I'm picking the Ravens. Although I'll be rooting my heart out with the Chiefs, and I hope I'm wrong. But just like you said, chip on the shoulder, overtime loss, a heartbreaking overtime loss. Sunday night game, 0-1, possible AFC Championship game matchup. Give me the Ravens. All right, guys, that's going to be it for the Man Hour for tonight. Tune in to us on Sunday as we'll recap the weekend NFL here. We will talk some other stuff. We'll talk some Major League Baseball. We'll talk some. There's a big college football games happening this weekend, so we'll probably sprinkle a little bit of that in there. But as always, Man Hour Nation, have a great night. Tori, send us out.
Man Hour Nation, rise up.